You lie awake at 3 a.m. Your mind, a broken record, replays a harsh comment, a missed opportunity, a looming deadline. You tell yourself to stop. You try to force it away, but it only screams louder. You aren't just thinking this thought. Your brain is trapping you inside it. In this video, I will show you exactly how this cognitive entrapment works, rooted in two precise psychological mechanisms that dictate your internal monologue. This is an abstract theory. This is applied behavioral science that will concretely explain why you can't shake certain ideas and what you can do about it in your real life. The recurring thought you can't shake, the one that shadows your day and haunts your night, is not a random glitch in your mental processing. It is, in fact, a precise signal. It's your brain screaming for closure. This phenomenon has a name, the Zeigarnik effect. Imagine a busy waiter. They can perfectly recall every order at every table they are currently serving. But the moment a table pays and leaves, the details of their meal vanish from the waiter's memory. The active, uncompleted tasks remain cognitively accessible. The finished ones are filed away. Bluma Zeigarnik, a pioneering psychologist, first documented this in her 1927 study. She observed that people were far more likely to remember uncompleted or interrupted tasks than those they had finished. Your brain functions similarly. That nagging thought about an unresolved argument, an unsubmitted report, an unexpressed feeling, it's an open loop. Your cognitive system flags it as incomplete, assigning it a heightened state of mental priority. It keeps pinging, demanding attention, ensuring you don't forget it. It doesn't matter if the task is a major project or an internal emotional conflict. If it's not mentally resolved, your brain treats it like an active order, pushing it to the forefront of your awareness. It's a survival mechanism, yes, designed to help us finish what we start. But in the modern world, where we are bombarded by 1,000 half-finished mental tasks, this ancient mechanism becomes a torment. Stop. Do you recognize this in yourself? The way your mind orbits around an email you haven't sent, a conversation you need to have, or a decision you haven't made. This isn't a character flaw. This is biology. Your persistent thoughts are often just unclosed tabs in your mental browser, consuming valuable processing power. And here's where it gets disturbing. The very act of trying to push them away can, paradoxically, make them stick even harder. But the Zeigarnik effect is only half the story. It explains why thoughts persist. Now, let's talk about why they become so powerful, so convincing, so true in your own mind. This is where the mere exposure effect enters the scene, and it fundamentally changes everything you thought you knew about your own internal monologue. The mere exposure effect, meticulously studied by Robert Zeigarnik in 1968, reveals a chilling truth. The more often you're exposed to something, the more you tend to like it, or at least, the more valid and important it seems. This applies not just to external stimuli like music or advertisements, but profoundly, terrifyingly, to your internal thoughts. Think about that for a moment. When a thought, initiated perhaps by an incomplete task, keeps returning, you are, by definition, repeatedly exposing yourself to it. Each time that thought cycles through your mind, it gains a tiny increment of perceived validity or importance. That self-critical comment, the one you can't shake from that awkward moment yesterday, the more you replay it, the more true it feels. The worry about a future event, the more you ruminate, the more concrete and inevitable that negative future becomes in your mind. Let's illustrate with a before and after. Before, you have a passing, neutral thought about a new idea at work. It's just an idea. After, You spend a day internally debating it, poking holes in it, mentally rehearsing presentations. By the end of the day, that initially neutral idea has become so deeply embedded, so thoroughly processed, that it feels like a monumental, unavoidable task or an undeniable truth about your capabilities. The sheer repetition, the mere exposure to your own mental processing of that idea has elevated its salience, its importance, its very reality inside your head. This is why, for many, the simple act of worrying transforms a potential problem into a perceived certainty. Your brain, through constant internal exposure, elevates a mere possibility to a perceived probability, or even a fact. It's not just that you can't stop the thought, it's that the act of having the thought reinforces its own perceived truth. What you call an introspective moment, your brain sees as an advertising campaign for itself, slowly, insidiously building preference for a specific mental loop. This mechanism dictates not just your fleeting thoughts, but your long-term anxieties, your self-perception, and even the bedrock of your personal beliefs. It's a silent, internal echo chamber, amplifying whatever gets repeated. Understanding these two effects, Zeigarnik and mere exposure, isn't just an academic exercise. It's a manual for reclaiming control over your own mind. You can interrupt these loops. Here are 3 research-based techniques to break cognitive recursion. First, the mental completion protocol. For thoughts stemming from Zeigarnik effects, incomplete tasks, or unresolved issues, simulate completion. If you can't physically finish something, mentally externalize it. Write down every single step you would take to complete it, no matter how small. Create an exhaustive to-do list. Or, if it's an unresolved conversation, write a letter, not to send, but to articulate everything you want to say. The act of externalizing and outlining a path to resolution, even if not fully executed, often tricks your brain into perceiving the task as closed, reducing its cognitive load. This doesn't make the problem disappear, but it often quiets the persistent mental noise. The expected result? A dramatic decrease in the nagging thought's frequency and intensity. Second, cognitive diffusion. This technique directly targets the mere exposure effect by creating distance from your thoughts, preventing them from gaining perceived validity through repetition. Instead of engaging with a thought, observe it. A common method is to imagine your thoughts as words on a train passing by, or leaves on a stream. You acknowledge their presence without jumping aboard or picking them up. A more direct technique is to add the phrase, "I am having the thought that," before your persistent thought. For example, instead of "I'm a failure," say, "I am having the thought that I'm a failure." This simple linguistic shift creates a crucial space between you and the thought, preventing the unconscious reinforcement of its perceived truth. Over time, you learn to see thoughts as mere mental events, not absolute realities, thereby diminishing the power of mere exposure. Third, scheduled worry time. If persistent negative thoughts are overwhelming, allocate a specific, limited window each day, say 15 minutes at 3 o'clock for worry time. During this designated period, you must actively engage with your persistent thoughts. Outside of this window, if a worry arises, acknowledge it and tell yourself, "I've addressed this during my scheduled worry time." This technique, supported by studies like those from researchers at the University of Pennsylvania, leverages a psychological principle of deferment. It acknowledges the thought without giving it free rein, preventing it from consuming your entire day. You fulfill the Zeigarnik drive for attention, but within controlled parameters, and you limit the sheer exposure to its negative influence. The result is often a significant reduction in generalized anxiety and rumination. You now understand that your mind isn't just a passive receiver of thoughts, nor is it a perfectly rational machine. It's a complex system governed by profound, often counterintuitive mechanisms. The persistent thoughts that have plagued you, that have felt like personal failings or uncontrollable anxieties, are often just the echoes of incomplete loops and the insidious reinforcement of mere exposure. This isn't a judgment of your character. This is a revelation about your biology, your very operating system. You are not broken. You are merely experiencing fundamental cognitive processes. With this understanding, you see yourself not as a victim of your thoughts, but as a sophisticated thinker capable of strategically managing the very architecture of your mind. And you see others through this same lens, recognizing that their persistent thoughts, their stubborn beliefs, their anxieties are often not conscious choices, but the predictable outcomes of the Zeigarnik effect and the mere exposure effect playing out in their own internal worlds. This is only the beginning of understanding the intricate design of your mind. If you want to continue rewiring how you see yourself and everyone around you, if you're ready to delve deeper into the hidden levers of human behavior, subscribe to Mindautopsy. Next week, we dissect the chilling psychological phenomenon of choice paralysis and how the illusion of infinite options is secretly sabotaging your happiness. Don't miss it.